Hey everybody!
Hello.
And welcome to
Two Old Farts.
This is... Who are you?
Trish.
This is Trish, and I am Rod. You'd think I'm the one with dementia, right?
I'm the one with dementia.
She's the one. And I'm the atheist.
And I'm the Catholic.
That's right. So we have a mixed up marriage, don't we?
Well, we do sometimes. It's even worse.
The Catholics call that a mixed marriage. But the reason we're talking today, there's a couple of reasons. First of all, we should change the name to Dementia Can Be Fun, right?
I guess. I don't know if it's how much fun it is when you keep forgetting.
Because we've been trying to get through the dementia part, and it's a challenge because what we've realized is we just got to keep a sense of humor, right, Trish?
Yes.
That's right. We got to laugh at some of the dumb things that happen.
We do.
Right. Now, as far as the atheist and the Christian, as you know, as many of you know who've visited our website, on the website we have a blog, The Atheist and the Christian Love Story. So we're going to be talking a little bit about that today, and about my atheist friends. We haven't talked about them. I want to talk a little bit about them today. So if you're Catholic, there's going to be some funny stuff here for Catholics too. So you might want to stay tuned. So no matter what persuasion you are, you might want to stick with us. And at this point, I'm going to excuse Trish. Okay. Oh no, wait! Before I excuse her, I want her to tell her joke. Now, do you remember your joke?
No.
Okay, that makes sense. This is a good dementia joke. So I'm going to whisper it to you. Okay. So you go. You ask me. You go. Hey Rod, how do you catch a squirrel? And I go. I don't know how you catch a squirrel. And you go, run up the tree and act like a nut. Okay. You say it like that. You remember? Okay.
I don't know.
All right. Try it. You start.
I forgot.
Say, hey Rod, how do you catch a squirrel?
How do you what?
Catch a squirrel.
Okay. Hey Rod, how do you catch a squirrel?
I don't know, Trish. How do you catch a squirrel?
You run up the tree and show him your nuts.
Yeah. So that second version there, the first version is the way I told it to her, run up the tree and act like a nut. Second version is what she said, run up the tree and show him your nuts. And when we were at church, that's the version she said, run up the tree and show him your nuts. Well, that got quite a reaction at church, didn't it?
Yes.
So as you can see, dementia can be fun. Now I'm gonna excuse Trish. You can just sit there and listen, okay? Because I'm gonna go into. I want to explain. Let's see if I'm gonna pull up my notes here. I might as well pull up my notes. So what we want to do here is talk a little bit about the difference that I see between atheism and any other kind of theism, which to me, a theistic idea is an egocentric idea. It's based on one ego that everybody looks to and adores that ego. And a cult is another name for it. But there are religions that, even the Greek religions had many deists, that those were the powerful ones that you looked up to. Now, that's egocentric. Personality centric, whereas atheism is altruistic. We live for each other. A good religion that you could say is altruistic is Buddhism, because it really is it's not about the ego, it's about the other. So even though Buddhism has some wacky stuff in it too, it's you're going to live forever and you keep coming back and back. Atheists don't buy any of that stuff. But anyway, when you get into the difference between egotism and altruism, the way we behave is in the best part of Christian tradition, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. So that truly is altruism. So that's the way that Trish and I come at this. We really, she lets me go my own way, and I let her go her own way. And I go to church with her, and she goes to the Atheist Assemblies with me. Don't you, Trish? Yeah. So we support each other, and we do not try to tear down the other one, right?
Right.
So in a sense, atheism, here's the one thing you got to remember about atheism is you don't want to proselytize. You don't want to try to gain people to become atheists. We're not a religion, so we're not looking to proselytize. What we are looking to do, however, is to define what it means not to have a religion, because so many people who have religion want to tell us that therefore we have no ethics, and that's absurd. Atheists know you get your sense of decency and your sense of kindness and your sense of justice. It has evolved in us as it has in every other animal. We can see the way other animals behave too, that there's a social order. So I'd like to share a little bit of red meat with those of you atheists out there who you want to hear a little funny stuff about maybe other religions. So there's a story from my childhood that really illustrates the big difference between. Wait a minute, let me make sure I've got the right thing. Yes, I got the right thing. So, and you can read this. It's really well organized in our blog. The atheist versus the Catholic. But this is a story about when Sammy, my lizard, died. Because Sammy was my only pet, and my parents didn't allow pets. And the only reason I had Sammy as a pet was that a friend of mine took me to the circus, and his dad allowed me to buy a lizard. And of course, if Dad had been there would have been no way. I would have got a smack on the back of the head. No, I can't have it. So I got Sammy. Well, Sammy didn't last long. This was the winter when I got Sammy, and I knew nothing about lizards. So I thought, I could put Sammy in my one good box, which was it was a microscope box. It was a wooden box, so I could put him in there with some leaves, and I thought he'd be fine, right? He wasn't fine. Within a few nights, Sammy died, turned brown. Well, I knew that Sammy's normal color was green, so I kept trying to get him to turn green. I kept thinking he'd come back to life. So I finally realized Sammy was dead. You flick him and nothing happens. So I decided to pray to God, because I was a good Catholic, to bring Sammy back alive again. Now, you got to remember that the nuns are teaching us every day. Now, if you pray a perfect prayer, God will grant you a miracle. Can you believe that? They used to teach that. Now, I don't think they teach that anymore, but they taught that to us. If anybody who prays a perfect prayer can get their miracle. So, how imperfect would a 6-year-old praying, how could that be anything but a perfect prayer? A 6-year-old prayer? So I just told God, come on, God, I know you're there. I know I'm praying a perfect prayer because I just want to bring Sammy back because I screwed up. It's my fault. It's my mistake, and I'll do penance for all my life if you'll just let Sammy be born again. So at the end of school that day, that was during Mass. We had to go to Mass every day. Oh, geez. So this was on a Tuesday. I don't know how I remember that. But I rushed home, got off the bus, rushed home, opened up my little box, expecting Sammy to be alive and jumping around, and no. Sammy was still deader in the door now. So God didn't exactly come through for me, right? That's proof he doesn't know. So what happened after that was we decided to have a funeral for Sammy. Now, as some of you know, that the Catholic Mass is full of getting up and sitting down and crossing yourself and ding-a-linging and all kinds of crazy rituals. So I was one of those kids who loved to zoom in on the rituals and got myself some vestments and vestments. I guess it's a towel, and got a chalice and a thing to go on a chalice and a veil to go over it and the whole 9 yards. And so we had a Mass and prayed for Sammy, and then it was time for the interment. It's time to bury Sammy. So we got a coffin for him, a really nice cigar box that I really love. I love that cigar box, so I didn't want to give it up, but it was the perfect coffin. So we put Sammy in. We did a procession. We sang hymns and put him underground and covered him up. And the other kids heard the commotion, and my buddies, Tommy and Bill and Doug and his brother Steve, They came over and they saw what we were doing, and they said, "Oh, well, dig him up. We want to see him." And I said, "No, I can't dig him up. He's the ground has already been hallowed. We've already blessed the ground." So
yeah.
So I said, "Look, we cannot do that, but we'll let you sing along with us. We're singing hymns." So Doug said, "Wait a minute, I know a good hymn." So we all put our heads down, and Doug sang, "The worms crawl in, the worms crawl out, the worms play pinochle on your snout, ashes to ashes and dust to dust. If the worms don't get you, the devil must." So we all enjoyed that beautiful hymn, and then we things kind of deteriorated from there, and we ended up digging him up anyway and looking at him, and
really?
all his gory detail. Yeah.
Oh gosh!
But that was my little Catholic story. Obviously, I didn't get my miracle, so that was proof to me that there was no that the nuns were wrong. Also you could say that it was proof that there was no God, because it was a perfect prayer. Obviously, a perfect prayer if it came from me, and I was a 6-year-old. So it was something that stuck in my memory. I didn't get my miracle.
Right.
Which is a silly way to look at it. But I come at this from so much about religion is kind of silly. I mean, if you're honest about it, some of the things that people believe are kind of silly. Atheists, we can be silly too. We can believe some nutty stuff. There's some left-wing atheists that are out there. I'm just going to say it out there. So it doesn't matter what stripe you're from or what kind of religion you're from. You probably believe some crazy stuff. So in terms of our reaching out to other people, I think what we want to do is be kind and accepting, which is what Trish is. She's kind of a model, don't you think?
Yes.
Yes. And Trish paid me a high compliment today when I helped her with her meds. When we were finished. Do you remember what she said to me?
No.
No? What she said to me was, "Oh, you're so good to me. There's going to be a wonderful place in heaven for you." Which I said, "Okay, that means I'm going to be the first atheist to get to heaven."
Yeah, well, you just may be, because while you're going up there'll be special escorts for you.
Special escorts for me, and Tricia is the most saintly Christian Catholic I have ever met. So if she's right about all this, then I'll get lifted up with her, and then they'll say, "Oh, and you're the only atheist up here, so we're going to have to send you back and give you another chance to believe in us." Right? I won't get to stay, will I?
I'm not sure. I don't have all the messages, and I haven't read all the papers.
Okay. So you see why we get along. This is a great relationship, even though she's a firm Catholic and I'm a firm atheist. So for those of you who wonder what's the best way for us to deal with other religions, kindness, I'd say, wouldn't you?
Yes.
Kindness.
And just recognizing that other people's religions, they feel good about their religion.
Yeah.
They don't feel embarrassed or ashamed, because that's how they grew up, and we should never
that's right.
say something against them.
If we have a sense of humor about our own religion, then maybe other people will have a sense of humor about theirs, even if our religion is not to have a religion. Anyway, that's all from Two Old Farts.
Yeah, and don't think too hard about it.
Yeah. That's your motto in life, isn't it?